Hey you guys, I'm Jack Ruston. Welcome to Ruston's Boneyard. Now, it is summer, although to be honest, it has been slightly hard to tell of late here in the UK. And what we're going to do today is we're just going to make a really simple frozen lemon mousse. It's kind of like a refreshing thing that you can chuck in the freezer. And then when the kids are like, oh, can we have some ice cream? And you don't want to give them ice cream because, you know, you think it might be a bit bad for them to keep having stuff like that. You can give them a frozen lemon mousse. And it's a bit better in that respect. So here's what we're going to do. We have got a lemon and we're just going to zest that. So why zest lemon? Well, it's in the skin of the lemon that we get the oils. And that's where the sort of really kind of lemony intensity, a lot of the kind of the true sort of essence of the lemon is. We've zested that. Let's now add the juice. I'm just going to cut it in half and just squeeze it in. If you've got a juicer or whatever, fine, juice. I like to squeeze my lemons. So here we go. I'm just going to squeeze all this in. This one seems to be strangely devoid of pips for an organic lemon, although we can, if we get any, just pick them out. Now we can set that just to one side, and I've got 4 eggs. And what I'm going to do is just separate the whites from the yolks. And the whites are going to go into the big mixing bowl, and the yolks are going to go in with the lemon juice. All right, Coco. That's Coco. Coco hid one of Jess's socks somewhere over here earlier. She's trying to retrieve it. It's very important business for her. So, a couple more eggs. We don't want to get any yolk into the whites, and there's various ways you can avoid doing that, but the quickest and easiest is just to tip the yolk across a smooth part of the shell into your hand and let any residual white run through. So now we've got 4 egg yolks separated in with our lemon, and the whites here, which we're going to set aside. Now, to this, we're going to add a little bit of coconut oil, about a tablespoon. And what that's going to do is it's going to add a coconutty flavour that works beautifully, but it's also going to provide a softer mousse when frozen. Sometimes when you freeze things, they go really hard like ice, and sometimes they're sort of soft and smooth, and what the coconut oil does is that it adds to the fat content and it allows it to be a bit smoother when frozen. Now what we're going to do is take this over to the hob, and we are going to basically turn it into a curd. Right, now here we go. I'm going to put low heat on this. Now, this is where we have to be really, really patient. If we put too much heat on this, we're going to end up with scrambled eggs. Now, this first bit, it's going to feel like absolutely nothing's happening, and you're going to be tempted to turn it up a bit to get it going. And that is the point at which you're going to end up with a layer of solid egg on the bottom of your pan. Never let it stop moving. I'm just starting to see a bit of steam rising off it now. It's getting suddenly a lot warmer. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick the pan up off the heat. It's visibly thicker. You can see now it's not watery anymore. It's visibly becoming this kind of custardy texture. And all this steam that's coming off it, that is water evaporating, and every bit of it that goes, this is getting thicker. That's how we can tell that it's doing the right thing. So we need to be really careful now that we don't turn this into scrambled egg. And I'm actually just going to lift it right off there for a second, right off to the side, and I'm going to stir it like mad. I'm going to turn the heat off altogether, and I'm just going to keep stirring this as the heat dissipates from the pan. So we've got this thick, lemony, curdy kind of mixture, and it's just now kind of stopping cooking. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of raw honey, a tablespoon or so, which I think is about that. Let's see how many grams that was. That was 25 grams. And I'm going to add a little bit of stevia. And what happens when we use honey and stevia together is that kind of rather artificial taste that the stevia can give you, where there's no real immediate sweetness, but it has a sort of sweet aftertaste. So what we're doing by adding the honey is that we're getting that impact initially as well. Now let's just taste. Set that to one side now. I'm going to whisk our eggs to stiff peaks. So we've now got stiff peaks. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our sweetened kind of lemon curd and we're just going to fold it through. Look at the colours here as you start to blend this through. Now, don't whisk it with the electric whisk because you'll knock all the air out of it, and that's just a shame. It will be a paste rather than a mousse. But we do need to incorporate it. We don't want sort of big white splodges of it everywhere, you know, where the eggs not mixed through. Trying to keep it light. That's the really nice thing about this, is that it's so light and refreshing. A little sort of treat that doesn't really fill you up. It's not gonna ruin the kids' dinner, you know, if they have it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna now just pop it in to these ramekins. Now it actually looks like it's making more than 4 portions, but I'm gonna see if I can heat them up a bit. It's much better to have a small pot and loads of the thing because it makes it look huge. If someone gives you a tiny plate with a massive piece of cake on it, it looks like you're getting the biggest slice of cake in the whole world, even though actually it's not. So here we go. Now that lot is going to go into the freezer straight away, where it will set into our mousse. Okay, so here we go. These have been in for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. They don't take very long. In terms of macros for the mousse, I was thinking about it while it was setting. It's about 5 grams of carbs, about 7 grams of protein, and around 10 grams of fat. So, you know, they're really fit within a kind of keto framework. So let's see what we've got. There you get this nice kind of soft, moussey texture, and it's so light. Really delicious, and they just melt away. So give it a go, take a picture, stick it on Insta, tag me at Ruston's Boneyard, keep cooking.